What is going on, everybody? My name is Zach Sholey, and this is another episode of Sholey Sports. So I wanted to get into it right away. I wasn't planning on doing a video today. I wasn't planning on doing a video for a few days, but a lot is going on in the world of MLB, and the great thing about it is it's happening right in my backyard. So let's get into it right away. What is going on in Milwaukee? What is going on with Milwaukee Brewers? What are the new expectations for the Brewers? David Stearns, young GM, Brewers brought in from Houston. You know, he looks like he knows what he's doing. He brought in a lot of big name prospects coming in when he first came here. He brought in a Jonathan VR. He brought in a Lewis Brinson. He brought in a Brett Phillips, and that's just some to name a few. And now he's starting to turn these chips into major pieces into the Milwaukee Brewers organization. So let's get into what happened today with the Milwaukee Brewers. So the Milwaukee Brewers have traded for outfielder, center fielder Christian Yelich. So what does this mean? They traded 4 prospects, 2 of them being major prospects. Lewis Brinson, who I believe was the #1 overall prospect in the Brewers farm system. He did come up and play for the Brewers briefly. He didn't flash all that much. He did a lot of good things on the defensive end, but not too much with the bat. I have a feeling it was the early major league jitters. So Lewis Brinson is moving on to Miami. Miami is trying to reload. They're getting rid of all their major pieces and trying to get some prospects into that system. It seems like they made a good deal for them getting Brinson. They got Isan Diaz, another up-and-coming infielder that was in the Brewers farm system. So good deal for Miami. They also got, I believe, a couple relief pitchers from the Milwaukee Brewers as well. So good deal for Miami, but did the Brewers give up too much here? The Milwaukee Brewers get a guy who won the Silver Slugger Award. He's only 26. He signed into 2023. I think he's on a 7-year, $49 million deal. So that averages out to, I think it's $7.1 million on average through the rest of the cycle here. So a lot going on in Milwaukee. But what does this do to expectations? Christian Yelich, 290 career hitter. Hit 18 home runs last year, 21 the year before that. He racks in a lot of ribbies. Pretty quick. He can steal bases. Great defender. He's got a good arm. From all accounts, this is a good deal for the Brewers, but this tells me that they want to win now and they want to win in the future. They are not trading away major pieces for one-and-done deals. This is a 7-year deal, not very expensive to the Brewers, and I think they're trying to kind of do what they did with Travis Shaw. They're trying to get Travis Shaw right before he peaks, right before he shows his true potential, because you can get him at the right price right then. I think they might have been a step behind on Christian Yelich because I think they paid a little more than they wanted to get him. But overall, I think he will be a great piece for the Milwaukee Brewers. Second, what is going on? 5 years, $80 million. Lorenzo Cain is coming back to Milwaukee. As we all know, Lorenzo Cain got into the Brewers system. He started his major league career in Milwaukee. He's got Milwaukee ties. He went on. He got dealt to Kansas City. I think he was a part of the Zach Greinke deal to get Zach Greinke to come to Milwaukee. This time signed him 5 years, $80 million. I think it's one of the biggest deals by a position player. So that's kind of crazy just to think. He's 31 years old, 5 years, so you got to think that he's going to finish his career with Milwaukee, the team that he started it all out with. We all know that last year he hit, he batted 300. He had 15 home runs. He didn't have a lot of RBIs because he's batting up towards the top of the batting order. But that's some great stats. That means he's going to get on base. But then again, what does this do to the lineup? What does this do to a guy like a Jonathan VR who was sitting at the top of the batting order? Where do you put him? Do you throw him down to 7, 8, even maybe 9 and put the pitcher spot at 8? Who knows? There's a lot of potential that the Brewers can do with this lineup, and all they did is add more power to an already stacked lineup. Christian Yelich was playing in a ballpark that is massive and it's extremely hard to hit home runs, and yet in 2 years he hit a combined 39 home runs. That's not too bad. What can he do with a full season of Miller Park? Can he hit 25, maybe even 30 home runs and drive in 100 RBIs if he's hitting it out of the ballpark more consistently, hitting it in gap to gap, line to line? He is that type of hitter. That's why he won the Silver Slugger. Lorenzo Cain can do that too, and he's got great speed. He's going to get on base. He's going to steal bases, and it's going to be awesome for the Milwaukee Brewers. I know I'm sounding like a homer here, but there's a lot to be excited about in Milwaukee. But what pieces are they missing? And how close did these new additions get them to the top, or how close did they get them to over the top? Are we right there around the rim? And is a guy like Yu Darvish or a Jake Arrieta, is that going to put us over the top and get us to an NLCS? Is that going to get us to a World Series? Is that going to get us to compete with the Chicago Cubs in the NL Central? How close are we to that point? I mean, I think you saw a lot of big steps last year. I mean, we only missed the Cubs by a few games, and that was major at that time. So how close are the Brewers to competing with the Cubs, to not just compete for the NL Central, but to compete for the World Series? And what is the piece that we're missing, or pieces that are we missing? I think we're missing, obviously, that ace starting pitcher. We got Chacin, we got Zach Davies, we got Jimmy Nelson. He's hurt. He's going to be missing a good portion of the season, but it sounds like his rehab is ahead of schedule, so that's a plus. But even when he comes back, he's not going to be the same Jimmy Nelson. He'll be on a pitch count, and he'll be on all this other mumbo jumbo. You got Giovanni Gallardo back. Who knows what's going to happen with him? He's probably going to be a spot starter. He's going to be the long reliever coming out of the bullpen. But the two pieces that I think we need is that ace, a guy like Yu Darvish, a guy like Jake Arrieta, but he can't overpay. And the thing that scares me about these deals that David Stearns committed today is that he is kind of willing to overpay. And is that an owner that is too anxious? Because we've seen it before with Antanasio, where he just gets too anxious and he jumps the gun and he wants to be good too soon. He wants to take that shot too soon. And is that what's happening here? Is he opening the checkbook a little bit too soon before they get that one or two more pieces? And are the pieces that we got, are they the right pieces to make this team better? So those are my concerns with the Brewers right now. Are they overpaying to get the pieces that they need, and is it going to potentially put us in jeopardy in the future by opening the checkbook too soon? So that's what I think about the pieces. From another aspect of it, the other piece that I think we should get is another person in the bullpen. What are they going to do with Josh Hader? Is he going to be your eighth inning guy? Is that fortified? Who's going to be the eighth inning guy? Is he going to be the seventh inning guy? Or are you going to throw him in the starting rotation? I think he's more effective right now as that eighth inning guy who's going to come in, he's going to bring the heat, he's going to throw that 97-mile-an-hour fastball with a nasty slider. Corey Knebel, is he going to be able to sustain the closing ability that he had last year with that nasty 12-6 curveball and that ridiculously high-speed fastball? Is he going to be able to build on that? So those are the two concerns that I have. And so kind of what do they need? That's my question for you. Comment below, subscribe, comment below, and let me know what are the pieces that the Brewers need to put them over the top. I'm excited for the Brewers season, and I'm excited to see if they can compete with the Cubs. And if you are a Cubs fan and you are watching this, are you getting nervous about the Brewers? Do you expect them to be going toe-to-toe with you? Are you getting excited whenever you see the Brewers pop up on the schedule now? Because you know it's going to be a great game. So, and are you buying your tickets to get into Miller Park now because you don't want it to be a Brewer crowd, you want it to be a Cubs crowd? So I'm really curious to see some predictions as well. Do you think the Brewers will overtake the Cubs? What are your expectations moving forward? And going into spring training, I guess might as well do this now. Give me some predictions on records. How far do you think they're going to be? Do you think they're going to be that 90-win team that David Stearns is trying to build and work towards? So I'm excited. My prediction for the Brewers is to build on last year and win at least 90 games. If you win just a handful more games each year, that takes the Brewers from 86 wins to 91, and you got to assume that they're at least going to be a wild card team with that record. You don't want to be the wild card team, but just get in. Baseball is a completely different ball game when it comes to the playoffs. If you get hot at the right time, pitching and all that can take you to places you've never seen before. And we all know that the Brewers have some serious pop in their bats moving forward. So I'm really anxious to see what the Brewers do with more moves. Are they going to trade like a guy like Domingo Santana? Are they going to finally move a guy like Ryan Braun? Because with all the new outfielder additions, there's a lot of avenues that the Brewers can go down. So I'm really curious to see what you guys have to think. So comment below what you guys think. Am I crazy with some of the opinions I thought about the Brewers being a contender for the World Series, contender for the NLCS, or possibly just even the NL Central? Let me know below. I'm really curious to see what everybody thinks. So subscribe to the channel. We're gonna take a deeper dive into MLB free agency as it comes on. It seems like the key in the ignition is finally starting on MLB free agency. So I'm really excited to dive deeper, and I'm really excited for baseball season as NFL season ends. So that is all for Sholey Sports in this edition of Sholey Sports. Look forward to seeing you guys in the future. Later.